Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for attending the session today. As Shahina mentioned, my name is Razia Rashed. I'm one of the ambassadors for Taylor Massey neighborhood. Out of many challenges we faced during the outreach or supporting the clinics, I would share a couple of challenges that I faced and what helped to overcome those challenges. I'll tell you about an experience. We had clinic scheduled over on this weekend, Saturday and Sunday at a field at Dentonia Park that is located at Taylor Massey. As a common practice, community ambassadors are scheduled, or at that time were scheduled for outreach throughout the neighborhood. We had 3 ambassadors with the staff who were distributing flyers door to door at one of the buildings in the neighborhood. I had called the manager ahead of time as a common practice to get the permission for this activity. Just to give you some history, we had difficulty in the past accessing this set of buildings that's located in the same cluster of the neighborhood. That is why this time I made sure I get permission from the manager, not only from the site manager, but also from the head office. I received a call in the early afternoon from one of the community ambassadors saying that the superintendent was not letting them in to do their job. I reached the location in 5 minutes from the clinic and spoke with the individual and explained that I had permission from the manager. After having some back and forth conversation, and of course being professional as possible, this individual allowed us to go inside the building for outreach. And further to that communication, I tried to build a rapport, understanding that this is not the last time we're entering to that building, so that we get a bit of familiarity with the individual. So, and to build a rapport, I offered him some PPEs and also made an arrangement for the residents to get it at a later date. All I was trying to do at that time was making connection to that individual who happened to be the gatekeeper for the residents and preventing residents from benefiting from various services, especially getting the vaccine and information related to COVID-19. As we were about to complete flyering the entire building from top floor down, someone came in almost running on the first floor and tried to snatch the flyers from the ambassador's hands, being very rude. This person was saying, we do not have permission for this activity in the building. We should get out of the building, or she would call police. She was another superintendent of the building. I walked with the rollator or walker. While she was shouting at us saying, get out, she kicked my walker wheel. That pushed me towards the wall. Luckily, I was very close to the wall in the hallway and didn't fall down. All this time, we were very polite, explaining that we have permission. At this stage, though, I told her that now I'm going to call police for this harassment, as she kicked my dignity. We suggested her to contact her manager to find out if we have permission or not, and we're not leaving the premises. She got a bit nervous and called the manager and found out that we had permission. She had a resident with her the entire time as well while she was shouting at us. And the resident in front of us crippled the flyers we were distributing and supporting the superintendent. After the super spoke with the manager, she said, actually, I don't have my glasses on. That's why I couldn't see your walker. Then all the ambassadors and the staff person said it together and loud that we witnessed you kicking her walker. Then she apologized. What worked well dealing with this situation is knowing the history of these couples who control the crowds and the flyer distribution or information that goes out to the residents. Being persistent and perform the task accordingly, being professional. Team support from ambassadors and also from the staff level. We were all together when distributing flyer on each floor, didn't split up. Usually we, to get the productivity level up, so there are times we split up, having at least a pair, but this particular building, we didn't split up. We were all together in the building. And having the names of the managers that I spoke with, that worked while referring to those both superintendent that I dealt with. And the entire time, stayed polite, calm, and only spoke up loudly when I felt I was abused, and turned the words back to her as she was threatening us that she would call police. So that was one incident. Another example was during an outreach event in the late afternoon in one of the buildings, where we were going door to door in one of the buildings to book appointments for the next day TTC mobile vaccination clinic that happened to be right downstairs at the building the next day. I was knocking doors and someone yelled at me from a distance that I could feel. "What do you want?" I responded saying, "My name is Razia. I'm one of the community ambassadors, came to your door to let you know that we'll have a TTC mobile vaccination clinic tomorrow. Would you or any of your family member be interested to book an appointment for the vaccine?" She completely dismissed what I said. Instead, she said, "Why don't you bring a gift card and drop it off to the mailing slot here at my door?" I responded saying, "Sure, if there is a need for you or the family, I can talk to you about it and connect to the proper resources." She said, "You can?" I felt her voice or sound came a bit closer to the door, because I pictured her earlier as she was speaking and speaking loudly, and she was speaking from quite a distance, probably sitting at a couch or a chair in the living room. And now she was probably closer to the door. As I was going back and forth in my thoughts, I noticed someone peeked through the door side opening window and said, "Why don't you drop off a green t-shirt similar to what you are wearing?" And she was referring to TNO green t-shirt. I responded to her saying, "If you're in need of clothing, we can also talk about it." She opened the door and was completely in shock seeing me using my walker and said, "You need help and walking with a walker and came to my door? Listen, lady, I don't need any vaccine. I don't want to take vaccine, but I want to volunteer with you. How can I do that?" I had tears in my eyes seeing her expression. And I felt she may not be ready right at that time, but here I was able to engage her in a conversation. And that was the success that I was celebrating within my mind. And I call it an in-stone. We may not be able to reach to a milestone with individuals like that who are not quite confident to get the vaccine yet, but working with her own needs and filling out those gaps and seeing her move from that step to where she's confident at a later date to get the vaccine. So what worked well in here, getting the idea from her or from the clientele, you can say, what she needs. If in her mind, I was thinking if food insecurity, if clothing insecurity, if those are the needs that's playing in her mind right now, vaccine would be the last thing she's thinking about. So why not letting her know this is not the only thing I'm here for. If there's anything else I can help you with, I'm here to help. So then we exchanged the phone number. So she felt that I could be a trusted individual. She shared her name and number with me. And I told her that next time we have some gift cards opportunity for groceries, I'll definitely call her and she can call me for other needs that she may have. I was polite with her. I was calm. I was confident when I was talking. And at the same time, I was able to provide that trust that she needed to be connected with. So those are the tips or training that I had. I was able to apply dealing with this individual. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing those, Razia. And I'm really sorry to hear about some of those experiences you had, that those were just pretty horrible experiences. And I think we would all agree we're sorry to hear that that happened to you. We do want to open it up though. If people do have questions for Razia or any similar experiences to hers that you'd like to share with everyone or share your tips, we do want to now open it up for about 10 minutes or so. And then we'll hear from Charles after that and then open up some breakouts so we can all have some group discussions together. So would anyone like to share in the chat, or if you want to just speak out and share an experience or a question or a tip? We have a comment that Razia, you are a hero. Have to agree with that. Wow. It is.
Thank you. I couldn't be anywhere without all of your support.
Good to you, Razia. I think in this case, if community ambassadors carry an identification ID card, like when we did the Statistics Canada job, we had an ID with us. So when we showed ID, people became more polite. In this case also, because it's door-to-door service, it is very hard. And I think one of the idea will give more dignity, more trust to the people instead of just going barehanded with the flyer. Because we received a flyer in our building from many business centers that is very much disturbing for the people because a bunch of paper people has to throw in the garbage. In this way, I think that would be the best to have the ID, to issue an ID.
Razia, did you want to comment?
About the ID card, definitely it helps. Especially now we're also wearing heavy jackets on, so the t-shirts can be hidden. Another ambassador mentioned in one of the other conversation that how about having a scarf with the logo on it, whoever they belong to. But I think an ID card would be a good idea that has the picture and they can put it outside or clip it on the side that's visible. I think having an ID card is more meaningful than other items to represent, for sure.
Can I just ask, so not everyone has an ID badge that is playing the role of a community ambassador?
That's correct. Not everyone has ID card.
Okay.
I know TNO ambassadors have ID card. I have seen also Access Alliance have an ID card. But also understand some TNO ambassador may not have it at different neighborhoods.
Okay, thank you for sharing that. So I know we have a hand up. So before I pass that over, I often take notes at the sessions and then pass it over to the City of Toronto. So I know at one of the previous sessions, ambassadors raised the importance of having something visually on them, such as a badge, a t-shirt, which is not helpful in the winter. But any other ideas, if you have them, I always pass them over after the sessions are over. So I'll add the idea about a scarf. That's something I haven't heard before, as well as everyone having a badge. And then someone mentioned in the chat, masks with our logo and City of Toronto on it. So I will definitely keep taking notes and pass them over. There's lots of great support for you in the chat, Razia. I'll now pass it over to Bob.
Yes, good morning, everybody. Razia, you handled that very well, and it lets all our ambassadors know that how to de-escalate. But as being mentioned, we go in buildings and we get a lot of irate community members sometimes because number one, we're strangers. They don't know who we are. There's no identification. I think picture ID is extremely important because it assists in the de-escalation issue if we have somebody that's irate, so they know who we are. We're identifiable. As far as for us at Community Place Hub, we had teachers, but now the weather has changed, and obviously we're not going to run around in a building carrying our jacket because we're carrying flyers and things like that. I think, and I mentioned this to the City of Toronto staffers and in a meeting yesterday, how important it is that we are able to identify themselves, because we go in different buildings that let's say have different situations, and it's important for us to identify ourselves, so there gives a little bit of comfort to that community member or that tenant, knowing that we're there for a particular person. And I think a picture ID will help and assist all the ambassadors to getting to a point where a conversation or an exchange is easier to maneuver, shall we say. And it's a great tool for de-escalation. There's no question about that. We've been mentioning this for months, and here we are in mid-November, and we're right back where we started when we've been commenting and suggesting this, for a long time. We need to move forward. We got to stop sitting on the fence, and we need to get this done today. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Bob. Really, really critically important points to make. Thank you for that. Did anyone else have a question for Razia or a comment to share a similar experience? Okay, great. Well, thank you so much.
Marian has her hand up.
Oh,
Yes, yes, I would like to say something. I'm very happy, Rasha, to listen your experience, profoundly in solidarity with you, because I believe profoundly we as ambassadors are just in the critical moment, and those are the gifts we will have as our commitment. It means you are walking in the shadow, trying to solve lives. I have the same thing as a priest. I send emails to many members of my parish, and I receive emails from the anti-vaccine, and even people who come to the mass, they try not to wash their hands. But I think so your attitude and our attitude with kindness, with faith, with love, it will encourage, because we were just to do the best in order to solve lives. And your experience impacts, enriches, and also encourages my experience too. And I think that happened with everybody, all the ambassadors, not only in the New York area, all in all the city of Toronto and beyond that. But thank you for your experience. I'm very happy to learn from you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing your experience as well. And that's when I say, when we're able to make any little movement, even just by listening to them and engage in a conversation, to celebrate that moment, that we are celebrating in stone. So they may not be getting to where we want them to go at this stage, but we're doing our job to the level, to the best possible way. So they are moving in that direction, and we are able to make that trusting relationship, so that next time I see them, they'll be more likely to listen, or I would listen more, and slowly we'll get there.
Really good point, Razia. Thank you.
Rayash has the hand up.
Please go ahead.
Yeah. Hi everyone. This is Riyash from LAMP, South Etobicoke Organization. Actually, I went through same as what you went through, Razia, and it's very, very difficult time to go to door. We have to be brave and patient with everyone. One guy, he came to us when he saw the flyers we are putting in the front of the door. He said, "Oh, everyone here is vaccinated. You don't need to be here. Just go out. And we wanted to talk to the supervisor first, and he will not let us go to the office or knock on her. Then he said, oh, she's on lunch now, don't bother her, don't disturb her, you just go. And we didn't listen to him. We said, okay, we're gonna wait. Then we talked to her. We did what we should do, and we put all the flyers door to door. Then we saw him again and again, and every time he wants to kick us out from the building. But because we were a group, I think the thing, it was scary that he will close to us and talk to our face, and he didn't wear a mask. And it was a scary moment. As soon as we finished what we had to do, we left the building, and actually we reported to the lady, and she said, oh, I don't know, but are you done with your whatever you did? We felt we don't have support from supervisor. And this is not the only building. We went to other building because we had a pop-up clinic the other day. We usually go a day ahead. We put flyers. And then the other day, for the same day for the clinic, we went back and there's no flyers on the front of the doors. They were ripped off. And we went to the office. We said, we just put flyers yesterday for our clinic. She said, oh, maybe while they're cleaning, they moved it. And we saw the lady who was the cleaning lady. We told her, we asked her. She said, oh, I don't know, maybe it's old. We said, we came yesterday. And then we said, okay, we are from the city. We want to put this because we have a pop-up clinic in 2 hours. We need people to know that we are here. And we have gift cards for everybody. And she said, okay, I'm not gonna remove it anymore. Are you sure it's from the city? She was like afraid because we said it's the city. She was like, okay, I'm not gonna remove it anymore. And we made sure that she's gonna leave it there, because we put in every single door a flyer that we are having a clinic for vaccination. And we went through a lot of people to talk to them in person, to tell them we have a vaccine clinic, walk in, no appointment, no questions asked. We gonna give you a gift card, grocery card. When they knew that, and it's for each one, not just per family. I had family full of like 5 people coming just to take the first vaccine when they knew that we have a grocery card. And it was a happy ending day. We had like 100 vaccine giving away from that 3 buildings area. We felt so good that we can help that community to be vaccinated. Even we go through so many hard time, in the end, we feel good that we can help them and make the area safe and the community safe. Thank you.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing. Razia, do you have another comment before we pass
Yeah,
it?
no, thank you so much for sharing that, and great achievement. Thank you. Keep up the great work.
Good tip. Good tip. We have Rabia next.
Hello everyone, I'm Ravi Akhtar. I'm working with VCS. I'm a new ambassador. So I don't have my own experience, but I heard from my senior ambassadors, my colleagues, they face some challenges when they working with this giving the flyers. What happened, as Razia said, they that she when she went to give a flyer to the building. What happened one day with our other ambassadors, my ambassador said that when they go to the building to give the flyer, when they was knocking the door to give the flyer and talk with them, some of people spoke so loudly, so rudely, that they don't want to take any vaccines or like that. So it's like they feel disturbing when our ambassador knock the door or try to speak with them, make them understand why we should take vaccines or all those things. Actually, my colleagues or ambassadors, other some ambassadors said that it's really sometimes really tough time we face, that people feel very disturbed. Uh, they uh, they feel uncomfortable, maybe to maybe that time was not good to knock their door or like that. Actually, I wanted to share this small experience my colleagues they face actually
Thank you
challenges.
for sharing behalf of your colleagues. And once again, I would say we need to be polite. We are going at
Yeah.
their door at their peaceful time, knocking at the
Yes.
door,
Yes.
understanding that perspective. And
Yes. Yes.
it could be dinner time, we're knocking at the door. It could be other times that we're knocking at the door. And a lot of times they're not ready for vaccine.
Yes.
The
Yes.
other times they're already vaccinated and they feel disturbed. And it doesn't harm to apologize if we're disturbing them. I think we all should have a common practice understanding that
Yes. Yes.
the customer service piece that we need to inherit, understanding where they're at and where we are at, and come from that perspective that sorry that if I disturb you during dinner time, or use comments like sorry to disturb you at this time, but I have this information, would you be interested? I also have used speech like, if somebody said, how many times you going to knock at my door, I already told you that I'm vaccinated. So you know what, sometimes we have visitor visiting us, or sometimes I find we have children who were not eligible before, but they're eligible now. So we don't want you to miss out that opportunity. So turn the sentences in such a way so they understand that we're not here to harm anyone, but to let you
Yes.
know that there is an opportunity. So I find using speeches like that or sentences like that makes it a little bit easier for the other people to understand.
Thank you, Razia.
Thank you.
Great. So we will quickly take one more comment or question from Musawi before we move forward.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. This is Mursal Musawi. I would like to thank Razia for sharing her experience. And also, I would like to share, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Oh, now we can't hear you, sorry. Uh-oh. Oh no, did we lose Musawi? Okay, perhaps we will move forward, and then if she rejoins us, we will give her an opportunity to speak. But I do want to just be mindful of time. Our next presenter is Charles Zhu. Before I pass it over to Charles, if everyone wouldn't mind taking just one quick moment to fill out this poll. It should be about 1 minute. And it's just asking about whether you have an ambassador ID badge, if you have a t-shirt to help you identify yourself, or any other tool to help you identify yourself as an ambassador.
I'm sorry, I don't know why I cut off. Can I talk, Mursal Musawi?
Yes, we will give you an opportunity to speak. We saw that you had disappeared, so we definitely have space for you, not to worry. We'll just give everyone a few more seconds to fill out the poll before we hand it over to you for a minute.
Okay.
Good. We'll just give it about a few more seconds. I will also put the questions from the poll into the chat in case anyone isn't able to access the poll on your screen. And in case you prefer to verbally answer the questions from the poll, the first question is just asking if you have an ID badge. The second is asking if you have a t-shirt. And the third question is asking if you have any other tool or any other way to identify yourself as an ambassador. Great, thank you all so much for taking the time. Here are the results of the poll. So about half have an ID badge, about half of you have a t-shirt, and some people are not sure, but it looks like there are some of you who have a different way to identify yourself. So if you'd like to put that into the chat, any other ways that you have to identify yourself, if it's not a badge or a t-shirt, it would be great to know. Thank you. Okay, so we have a quick comment for 1 minute. If you would like to now go ahead. Oh no, it looks like we might have lost her again. Oh, Musawi, would you like to quickly make a comment for 1 minute?
Yes, thank you so much for the opportunity, and I'm sorry for cut off. I would like to thank Razia for sharing her experience, and for the first time I saw Razia in Trendcliff Clinic. I'm so happy to have information and introduction with her. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm sure all the community ambassadors face challenges, and personally, the challenges that I faced, unfortunately, it was a kind of discrimination. When I was knocked the door and I'm wearing hijab, scarf, and when I knocked the door and the lady came, and one of my peer, she didn't wear hijab. When I asked about the information and who is in this family, how many people need vaccine, then when she recognized me that I have hijab, I wear hijab, and she turned her face to my colleagues and said, "Oh my God, yeah, we are here 2 people, and we are not like Muslim people. Muslim people are so crazy. They bring a lot of children, and they are living in one apartment, many children with many children, and I'm not like that. I don't know who brought them here." I didn't say anything. Just I say, "Mom, we are here to help you if you need any support." But then again, he didn't consider my word, and just talking with them and talking about why Muslim people are like this. And as Razia mentioned, I didn't say anything because she was senior, and I did not give the right to myself to be impolite with her. And also the another challenges that I faced when I knocked the door, for the first, the 2 door knocking, I didn't receive any response. Then we left that door and we went with the another door. Then I heard a voice from the door and asked, who is the door? I said, "Yeah, I'm Mursal. I'm the community health ambassador with East Toronto Health Partner, an Afghan women organization. Through the city, we would like to support people." Then when she opened the door, and she said, "Silly woman, you wake me up from my bed." Yeah, this is the challenges that we face. But beside these challenges, I personally, I'm very happy because those people are less. And a lot of people appreciate our work. And also, as Razia mentioned, we are very happy. We can celebrate with ourselves that we can support our community, we can save the community people and also ourselves and their life. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Musawi, for sharing that. We really appreciate it. And I'm so sorry to hear also of your experiences. But thank you for all your hard work, and to all of you for what you do. I would love to be able to pass it over to our next presenter. So thank you so much, Razia, for being with us today and for sharing your experiences. You were so brave. We were so excited to have you here presenting with us today. But you will definitely still be with us and able to speak to everyone a little bit later in the breakout. So thank you again.
Thanks a lot for giving me the opportunity, Shahina, to be able to be part of this training today. And thanks everyone for your encouragement. It means a lot to me.
Thank you, Razia. I would love to pass it over to Charles Zhu, who is also a community ambassador in the Thorncliffe Park area. He's also the founder of the parenting group. Please feel free to begin, Charles. Thank you.
Thank you, Shahina. I really, every time I hear Razia share her amazing stories, always give me lots of encouragement and bring me lots of ideas and how we can incorporate that in our own work. Because this is what this session is about. It's a peer-to-peer ambassadors supporting sessions. So we can share with each other our challenges and how we could do better in the process. So I really appreciate you, Razia, for your amazing sharing. And your story demonstrated something which is of amazing quality and the empathy skills, which actually blows the theoretical knowledge out of the windows. Your ability of turning adverse situations into less challenging ones, turning foes into allies, which you shared in the past with me as well. And this is something what I talked about as allyship in the first training session for some of you being there. And it's truly something all of us in ambassadors could learn and apply. Now, welcome again to all my amazing fellow ambassadors here today. And I know there's lots of, how should I say, mobile clinics and pop-up clinics still ongoing. As I'm speaking right now, there's one right in my neighborhood, which is not far away from here. And I'm wearing my TNO green t-shirt, if you guys can see. The reason is you guys see can have several layers underneath because it's chilly outside. I think today is quite warm. Will be warmer. I heard it's going to be around 14 degrees. It's going to be double the temperatures as we normally have. But I'm going to go there right after our sessions here to support the clinic, as well as there's a high likelihood I might be able to get my booster shot, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later. And I appreciate you coming out. So we and your willingness of sharing with each other your challenges and the tips that can help us even protect us from dangerous situations. It's these challenges we all went through and will continue to experience to the next phase of the children's vaccination campaign. It's not going to be easy. As I shared before, we are never really prepared for the pandemic, but we are facing it with a willing and a brave heart to support the battle against the virus. Our collective efforts are bearing great fruits. If it was 2-3 weeks ago, I would have said, our infection rates are going lower. Unfortunately, it's not the case. However, I want you guys to keep you guys reminded. If you look at the death rate, you guys can see it's staying consistently low, even when the case numbers are going up. Because there's lots of scientific evidence the vaccination will provide protections from hospitalization as well as severe outcomes like death. So this is very important for us to remember as ambassadors. Lots of people are making great efforts for making the vaccination and also the combat against the virus work. We are an integral component of these collective forces. We are the unsung heroes, and I'm proud of all of you. I hope that you find these sessions engaging, uplifting, and meaningful to you, as it has been for me. We meant these sessions to be an opportunity for us to provide some peer-to-peer support, and feel free to share if something resonates with your own experience, or there is something unique about your own experience. And I often shared It doesn't have to be glorious moments. Sometimes the challenging moment that we experienced, even more able to encourage your peer ambassadors, as well as those are new. The next thing I want to share is keep personal safety as a priority. And Razia already shared, and many of you also experienced, we often run into situations which is not ideal. And I often want to encourage other people to remember your personal safety should always be a priority. I want to share a few things in terms of my own challenges. During our journey as community ambassadors, we have run into many challenges. Some of them could put our personal safety into jeopardy. We do door-to-door outreach a lot in the community, especially in high-rise buildings. We know majority of the residents are vaccinated by now. In some of the more familiar buildings, we even know who are not vaccinated, who are very rude, who are very strong anti-vaxxers. One thing I want to point out as ambassadors, it's extremely important to keep safety as our priority. If we are safe, we can continue our journey as ambassadors to support further work. So pairing up ambassadors with different cultural backgrounds, language skills to provide a wider coverage and a connection to the community. Now I want to provide some additional tips on how to pair up community ambassadors during your outreach. As I shared before, we often run into situations of language barriers, which is one of the most talk about the language barriers we run into. We have also run into situations that the ambassadors receiving threats, verbal abuse, or even physical abuse. Some microaggressions, including slamming the doors in the face, shouting at you, angrily demanding you to provide the documents that you have the right to do canvassing, as Razia shared earlier, and some of the ambassadors shared earlier as well. These are common form of aggressive behaviors. It's crucial that you never go out alone. For female ambassadors, it's also desirable to have a male partner combo if possible. For male ambassadors, it's equally desirable to have a female ambassador as your partner during the outreach. The gender balance usually provides an expected calming presence to the community. As expected, some people are more comfortable to their own gender, or some have the preference of talking to someone who they can sense the trust. Don't be afraid of asking for support or being creative. I often go canvassing with a few ambassadors in my parenting group. I speak Mandarin, so I can provide support for families who need a translation to Chinese. I also know my community very well, so I'm trying to provide support to many youth ambassadors during the outreach, for example, going to storefront or malls, and it requires some courage. With a partner, make you feel psychologically stronger, the less fear of speaking out. As I have also said, with some visual identity such as a t-shirt or a badge, which would provide a greater help to allow the people whom you are trying to outreach to have the trust and the confidence in speaking with you. I also appreciate the other ambassadors. I have quite a few amazing ambassadors in my parenting group. Most of them are moms. As a result, they have great skills at connecting with other moms. These ambassadors would be great informing partners during outreach in the next phase of the youth and the children 5 to 11 vaccination outreach. Another tip I want to share is using your street smarts. For those ambassadors who do a lot of door-to-door outreach, we have developed some strong sense of street smart. If we are walking on the street, we can sense someone who is not vaccinated if they don't want to talk to you while you are wearing your t-shirt or badge, or if they are not wearing masks. We often wave at them friendly together and showing them our pop-up mobile clinic fly. Offer to walk them over to the clinic. We have done that quite a few times, so they cannot say no simply because they don't know where it is, even though it's simply 1 or 2 blocks away. This kind of eliminating some physical barriers. In terms of the psychological barriers, we usually also offer to provide support, ask them to talk to someone at the mobile clinic, especially if they are hesitating. However, we had cases of people coming to the mobile clinic right in front of their building and talk to the medical staff and still walked away. Although we had followed afterwards, and they now happily doubled the doses. As we had gone back and knocked on their doors quite a few times, you can do so if you sense they are open and they are friendly. They just hesitate because they had some bad experience, or their friends or family members had some bad experience. Remember, some of these folks are really nice people, and I know some of them personally and in their daily lives. And so they are not bad people. They could be your own friends, your neighbors. They could even have family members who have died from COVID. However, the fear and the misinformation got to them first, much earlier than the positive information. I will share more on some of these aspects on our December 9th session, as we are going to focus more on the youth and children's vaccination campaign. The next point I'm going to share is keep the team spirit. You have to remember, this is teamwork. As a result, you need to think it's a process. First, if you fail to convince someone, or you might get outright resistance or hostility, don't despair. You or someone else may have another shot later. So keep your composure, or simply walk away if you find it's too hard to communicate. In the same token, if it's a bright day and the person suddenly made a decision to get vaccinated, it's great that you could reap the reward of witnessing someone who had chosen to get vaccinated ahead of you, including many policy changes or amazing doctors such as our beloved Dr. Vinita Dubey, who are doing their best to bring scientific evidence and up-to-date information to combat the misinformation. And of course, all our fellow ambassadors, your work is evident in making this campaign a success. Every door knocking, every pop-up clinic, every mobile clinic, your smile, your encouragement, your boldness, your kindness, your wittiness are all making a huge difference. Our collective efforts are making a difference to allow people making life-changing decisions for themselves, for their friends, for their neighbors, for their children, and for everyone. The next, if I have a minute, I will talk about some of the breakthrough infections and the impact. My wife has a colleague in the hospital. She got double doses in the early stages as a healthcare professional. However, lately, her entire family got infected by the virus, including her dad, who has a stomach cancer. She was very healthy otherwise. Her symptom was minor, but she did have symptoms. This tells us breakthrough infections are real. But because her entire family was vaccinated ahead of time, they are all double dosed. They are all okay now, including her dad. And that's the power of vaccination. Our booster shot campaign is slowly rolling out. As I shared with you guys earlier, it's happening right now in our community. And I'm going to go and support them, but I was told if they have doses available, because I'm eligible to get my booster shot. I have a question. As ambassadors, sometimes we need to know the up-to-date information, right? How many of you know that how many days in order to be passed after your second dose in order to get your booster dose? Razia, I will wait if there anybody else have the answer, because you're always there on the support. Anybody else have an answer? You can type in the chat, or you can you can tell. If I don't have an answer, I will ask Razia to answer. Let me check the chat. 6 months, almost. I asked how many days. Okay, so it is 24 weeks, 168 days. Yes, so it's slightly less than 6 months. Okay, and so it's very easy to remember 24 times 7. I'm a mathematician by training, so I'm very interested in numbers usually. I appreciate you guys sharing. So that's all I'm going to share, and there's lots of work fully ahead of us, and I think our battle is not over. I often shared we are going to end this campaign if we can get the virus totally under control. And for where I'm standing, I think we are most likely seeing this as an endemic, meaning that we probably are going to see this, you know, on the for years to come. We have to get the vaccinations on the regular basis. That's why the booster shot may provide us with additional support. Thank you all very much for coming.
Thank you so much, Charles. That was really well said. You shared some really great tips and really important considerations and challenges in this work. And leave it to you, Charles, to have a pop quiz. Only you. Only Charles would have a pop quiz. That was amazing. We should have had some prizes. Maybe we'll do one extra prize today for the person who, besides Razia, was it Amira who got it right in the chat first? Maybe Charles can confirm.
Yeah, Joy said 6 months. It's not wrong. Basically, it is in the media and lots of places talk about 6 months. But my question was how many days? So it was 168 days. I'm not quite sure. Razia, do you know whether they are very strict about these dates, or they are like say around 160 days is okay too?
Advertisement wise, it is 168 days, but it's clinic to clinic. They are they can accommodate if it's few days, but we're not quite ready to advertise that. It depends on the individuals and immunocompromised individuals, or if it's a doctor referral, then it can be administered accordingly.
Yeah.
And it is as 168 days that we should go with. And Shahina, you are right. I see on the chat box, Amira answered it first for 100%.
Okay, so you are getting a prize. Congratulations on that.
Thank you so much.
Amazing, Amira. You also have to thank me because I created this question.
I know myself. I'm so lucky for that one. All the time I get it.
Amazing, Amira.
Thank you.
I was on the opposite of the spectrum. I never get lucky on those kind of things. In terms of,
Thank
Do
you.
you have any more questions for us, Charles?
So get one more prize.
If SPT has any more prizes we can give out. Amira, can you please send me your email address in a private message so I can connect with you after?
Yes, that's okay.
Thank you. Does anyone have a question for Charles? We will be having breakouts now, so you can all share your experiences. But if you have a particular question for Charles. I don't see any hands going up.
I would like to ask Charles to elaborate a little bit more about his idea on allies.
Great. Thank you so much for asking. Allyship is I actually during my pop-up clinic, starting as early as probably back in May, because we run like lots of pop-up clinics in the community. So there's lots of people coming right at that time because there's lots of demand vaccines. Remember, we have those staged rollout campaigns. So in the beginning was geared towards for seniors, and then we started lowering age and started lowering age. And but starting May also, I think we have enough doses, and I think the condition got relaxed. So as a result, lots of people want to come, but some of the clinics start to, especially after the May 16th, that the largest community-based clinic in Suncliffe Park. You guys all remember that one? That one in within 24 hours, it was over 10,500 doses was administered. Those are the highlights. However, starting at the points onwards, our vaccination clinic size is getting lower and lower, and so we were thinking about the ideas how we can reach out to people, right? Do we go to door? We don't at that time. So, how do you talk to people? So one of the things I realized is we have an ally on those people who come into the clinic, who are vaccination friendly, and who's already got the, or some of them may already got the vaccinations. Remember when we go to door knocking, we always find the people who's happy to talk to you because they are already vaccinated. Then I said we shouldn't walk away like right away, because these are the people who's the allies. They actually probably know friends, families, and their neighbors who's not vaccinated better than you are, because you may not know their families and friends. And so one of the questions I always ask is we are not safe until all our friends, at that time, remember the Toronto Public Health called the personal bubbles. The personal bubble is referred to, you stay with your personal like bubbles, and so that vaccine, so that the virus don't get transferred. But the thing is, those personal bubbles are usually your family, friends, and the close contact, and sometimes we cannot avoid not to talk to them. And so as a result, I said, if these personal bubbles, if there's people in your personal bubbles are not vaccinated, you may not be safe. So is that possible? You can share with your families and friends. I use this technique in those pop-up clinics, and they during the day they come to the pop-up clinic. They are the eager ones, come to the pop-up clinic, want to get vaccinated. I ask them, do you have family friends that in your bubble not vaccinated? Some will say yes, some of them say no. Those ones say the no, I immediately say, could you call them? Because we have doses available right now. Ask them to come right away. And indeed, there are people who come to the clinic, later in the afternoon, during the same clinic, people lining up to there. And the same technique could be used during your door-to-door outreach, as well as, on the daily conversations, just with your colleague, you just say, how are you doing? How's your family doing? I know you are vaccinated or you haven't, but I know you're vaccinated, or do you know anybody in your family who's, how's the situation there? And they will, these times the topic always include, whether, how the pandemic is going on, and you heard the people, your close contact, somebody got infected, and you can ask, whether they are vaccinated or not, or what's the reason, and stuff like that. Those kind of things. As you talk, you gain more informations, and to allow you to be able to provide some ideas and thoughts, and how you can encourage them to get vaccinated. Remember, being an ally is being a potential ally, meaning there's an opportunity for you to share your thoughts and allow them to be part of our force. And these forces are much stronger, because cold call in customer service to do sales, it's a very hard thing to do. There are people do it. There are people very successful in doing it, but the majority of the people cannot do it very well because we don't have the connections to those people we're reaching out to. So you find the right connection point is very important. That's what I shared in the very first session of our program here. Yeah, so thank you very much. Hopefully that answers your question.
That was really great, Charles. Thank you so much. Such important strategies and tips to approach this work. So thank you for that. And thanks for the question, Razia. We're now going to put you into breakout rooms so that you can all share with each other some of Welcome back, everyone. We'll give it a few more seconds for everyone to join us. Hope you had some great discussions. Great, so we should have everyone back with us now. Would one group like to share back about some of your discussions, some of the challenges you've experienced, some tips that you'd like to share with everyone? You can feel, oh, we have someone with their hand up, Kashmira.
Yes. So we was into group three of ambassador, and the main challenge is, yes, we understand that always it's with the people, abusive environment, abusive wording, that's right. But as an ambassador, you are working, you are getting maximum 14 to 16 hours a week, but the ongoing keep training, getting the new rules, regulation, train yourself, prepare a flyer, prepare a document, go to the outreach, come back from the it's more of the work. So it's like most like 60 hours of the work. The ambassador are they are working really hard, and there is sometimes like the seniors and what they do not understand. So sometimes at night 9, late night, they call, they ask you questions. They don't understand about the computer, downloading passport or receipt or anything. So all of that, it's like the hours of work, it's more work like a 60 hours, but it's very less hour working. Second thing I would like to say that as an ambassador, you walk 5 to 10 kilometers. So that time is like long period. There is winter time, it's difficult. So instead of there is like to increase the more percentage, we need to work efficient in a short time. It's like how the government's policy came that workplace needs the vaccine, the proof of the vaccine. Some kind of those more like enforcement. So that's the way like it's a little easier to let the rest of the percentage to go and take a vaccine. Right, we start with the 70%, and if that there is the came of the workplace, it's compulsory, and that was, sorry, my dog, and then that was like more people was taking a vaccine. So if there is something else come up that enforce them to take a vaccine, because rest of the percentage whoever left over, they are really difficult. So that at least the journey will be a little easier.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing that. Yes, and hello to your dog. And yes, there's a comment in the chat about my cat. Yeah.
My dog, when I talk, he still wanted to talk too.
Exactly. My cat loves being in Zoom calls. Okay, if everyone wouldn't mind to just stay an extra 5 minutes to 1:35, then we can hear if we have 2 more people with their hand up. And after that, the session is over. So thank you, Kashmira. I'll now pass it over to Dipti.
Hi, thank you. We are in room number 9 with Jennifer, Kanif, Badia, and Amira, and myself, Deepthi. So the common point is we are definitely going to follow whatever the guidelines we have to follow, like walk in groups or which we were learning from many of the sessions. Apart from that, our common thing was Jennifer was mentioning this is a best team she has so far worked, like very strong individuals. I also personally, what our conclusion after expressing ourselves was that we are going to thank the people who have given us a different or the difficult situation, such that we are growing stronger, and also we come to know how to we are actually improving our soft skills, how to face them. In future we will be facing those, we exactly know how to do, and not creating any disturbances for them or us. So that's, I mean, like, it's very good. We are going to develop as a strong individual, and we are going to stay positive.
Amazing. Thank you so much for that. Really great words to share with everyone. Thank you so much. We have one last hand up from Mohammed.
Yes, thank you so much. This, for me, I don't share what I heard from the group because I came late, and I'm not able to share. I heard Bob Murphy what he said, but I leave to the group if they want to share something from that. For me, my concern is the third shot, the booster shot. I wanted to know as ambassador, and I have a lot of questions from the booster shot. What is for? Why the booster shot? Why we need to do that? And I don't have answer for that. I have some answer, but I don't have exactly answer for that. I need from the professional what kind of answer we have to give to our resident when they ask those questions. Thank you so much.
That's a really good point to raise. I believe that after our first session, Dr. Vanita Dubé did send over some information about why the booster shot is needed. So I will check that back for you, and I will send it out when we email the link for the recording today. So I'll check if Dr. Dubé did send that information after. If not, I think it was in the recording from the first training session in September, but I will definitely look into it and send you the information. If you want to send me a personal message with your email address, I can make sure that I get back to you directly. And Amira, who won the pop quiz, Charles's pop quiz earlier, can you please send me your email address? I got your information, but I just need your email address. Thank you.
No problem.
Is there anyone else who would like to share back with the group?
I just want to share 2 comments from our group. One ambassador, Masamat, shared that her neighbors comment and how they look up to the ambassadors in terms of making a decision for the vaccine. So it's like whatever you say with that kind of a note, right? So once you say yes, I'll go ahead and vaccinate my entire family, including children. And she also experienced how others can be abusive and hostile during outreach, and if she's by herself, how she feels awkward in terms of responding because of personal safety. Comments like you have sold your soul, so that's why you're engaged into events like vaccine engagements. So so those were good and positive. And another ambassador have mentioned that how one like among the couple's relationship, they were having some marital disturbance because one individual got the vaccine where the partner is forcing to take some detox to clean out the vaccine from the body, having two different beliefs in a marital relationship and how it can interfere into the relationship and further damage the relationship. So that was another challenges that the ambassadors face when the individual asks for support. What kind of support can you really give when things like that happens?
Yeah, that's really challenging, like very difficult situation for you to be put in, and difficult to handle. Thank you for sharing that back. Is there any last one more comment from our group? And then we're going to quickly just run our poll just to see what everyone thought of today's session. And Amanda, I just got your message, and yes, I will definitely also send you information about the booster.
Can I just add one comment?
Sure.
Razia, can I say one thing, only one thing?
Yeah.
I'm Razia. Yeah, no, I couldn't actively participate in all this pool because my PSW came and I was there with the PSW, but this program was on and I was listening, and PSW is she's in her country is in Africa she was a doctor too. So she was also listening, and she said, yes, very much correct. When she's now a PSW, but she's basically a doctor there in back her country. She was saying, we used to go there. She used to go some of the house for her work, and they start screaming. But one time, ladies start screaming, don't come close to me. And the lady was 80 or more than 80, 90 maybe old, she was telling. And she said, no, I don't want to take any vaccine, no vaccine. She thought she's a vaccine woman. She came for a vaccine. But she very strongly, she convinced her that I am not for a vaccine. I am your PSW. I came here for your shower and everything. So don't worry. So this is you. That's the thing she said. She shared her experience with me. But so the program you're doing, it is really very, very much correct. They are saying the correct thing also, but I am experienced with this also. So this is what I just quickly finished my shower and I came here with my wet hair. I said, okay, let me share it. But I wanted to go in the breaking room. I couldn't join there. Oh. So now I could join with everyone. So I just explain it to you. So I'm sharing with you.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And we're glad to have you here for whatever time you can be here. And thanks for sharing that story and confirmation. We do have 2 more comments from Razia and SNN, but if you don't mind, I'm just going to quickly take 1 minute to run the end of the session poll, and then we'll hand it over to the 2 of you for final comments and sharing. So I will activate the poll now and just put it up for about 1 minute if you don't mind taking that time to share your feedback. Thank you. We'll give it a few more seconds. Okay, so I'm going to bring the poll to a close. If you're still working on it, please feel free to shout or put in the chat that you're not done yet. I don't see anything or hear anything, so I will bring it to an end. Thank you so much for taking the time to share your feedback, and it's projected on the screen now. If you weren't able to fill out the survey or you have other feedback, please feel free to put it into the chat so we can take a look at it. Thank you all for joining us today. Please feel free to stay for a few more minutes. We do have a few more comments left. And to those who need to leave, thank you so much for being here and for sharing. You're all so brave in the work that you're doing. We really, really appreciate it. So now I think Razia, you are next.
Yeah, I would just like to say to our fellow community ambassadors, please remember we're the connecting points of each sides of the bridge of the health partner agencies and community residents. We're all well trained to use our active listening skills, being non-judgmental while raising awareness of health matters during this pandemic, answer questions while generating a conversation or any discussion, and connect people to the appropriate resources that they may be benefited of. We are the eyes and the ears out in the community, in the many communities that we belong to. I said that in another event. We are truly a trusted source to find out what the community members are thinking about and responding to various issues through the captured experience and insight from our neighbors. We can break the barriers out to those individuals who simply wouldn't ask for help due to stigma or cultural or language barriers. We are very much involved by contributing to the community during this pandemic, and some of us involved for a long time, as we know that our commitment and investment of time will support and promote safety and development of the community we live in, which will eventually make a better place for everyone. We feel rewarded to make a difference in people's life. And I just want to encourage all of you, keep doing what you're doing. Thank you.
That was beautiful, Razia. Thank you so much. Really beautifully said. Thank you. I know that Anna has a hand up, but before that, I wanted to check. I can't see your name. Is it SNN Ray? You had your hand up earlier. Did you have a comment?
Well, all I was wanting to say that we're doing a lot of outreach in one of the clinics that has come up at Oriel Food Bank. And, we were talking because most of the people around this area, around Don Mills, are almost fully vaccinated. A very rare case, we have faced, people who are reluctant or they have some question about the mandatory rules. But the main thing at this moment is a lot of people are talking about the double dose. This clinic at the Oriel Food Bank is also administering flu vaccine, which is very important because I'm eligible for the, for the booster dose, but I have to wait for 6 months, which is, I can understand, is very scientific. So I'm suggesting that people who are waiting for the booster dose should take the flu shot. Because the booster dose is important because when you think about the flu shots, there are a number of vaccines which we had to administer annually to keep us safe. So maybe next year we'll again have to take another booster dose for this COVID. So at this moment it is safe because by personal experience I got a bad cold when outreaching at Oriel, Community Center because I did not wear my jacket when going out and speaking to people. But I had taken the flu shot and that saved me from an extreme situation. So this is what I'm suggesting, that people take the flu shot at this moment.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that and encouraging people. It definitely is important to still get your flu shot, even if you're going through vaccinations or you're waiting, regardless. I know that Dr. Dubé did encourage in the last session I went to get your flu shot right away. So that's a really good point. Thank you so much for that. Anna?
Hi, everyone. I was just, my comment is a little bit in response to Charles. I liked your idea of allyship and how we could get family members to reach out to their friends. My only thing that I was a little bit confused is you mentioned that the way you reach out to the allies is by saying if someone is unvaccinated, it is a threat to someone who's vaccinated. And I wanted to know like if that's the correct thing or did I get it wrong?
Thank you for pointing out. Sometimes the wording could be a little bit said. Basically, I think all I'm trying to say is I actually don't say specifically whether they are a threat or not. I specifically say, you know, if your friends, families, or those people around you in your bubble, personal bubble, which I say is a Toronto Public Health terminology. If those people are not vaccinated, you are still have an opportunity to get infected, even if you are, because the closer you are to those people who are not vaccinated, the more opportunity for you to be able to get infected in the situation if they are get exposed. And so it's not as for certain that they will be, right? And as we know people who's not vaccinated, they are also not being infected. But that doesn't necessarily meaning that's percentage wise we still keep showing that those people who are unvaccinated tend to be likely to get infected, as well as have more severe outcomes, such as hospitalization or death. And we don't want that to happen to our loved ones. So that's the idea we try to use. And this idea is very effective. People can resonate right away, especially those people who are willingly come to get vaccinated. You know, and it has to be in the past, continue to be the case. And as I said, you know, when people open the door happily to see us when we are wearing TNO T-shirt, or when we declare ourselves to be the ambassador, they are happy to receive us. And I said we don't have to walk away from them right away, and they are the one who will be able to help us. So that's the idea. Hopefully that does address your concerns. I think the terminology I use might be a little bit off there, you know. So sorry about that for the confusion.
No, I'm just maybe questioning whether like who's a threat to who, because ultimately, like if you are vaccinated, you are protected, and the person who is not vaccinated, they are at high risk of getting sick. So I think sometimes, you know, I'm just saying this because I have friends that make comments like, oh, you know, I'm vaccinated. I went to the restaurant. I had no mask on, and I felt so safe to see so many people around me who were vaccinated as well. And then you stop to think and you're like, but wait a second, you shouldn't worry. You know, if you're vaccinated, you're protected. It's the people who are not vaccinated that we need to care about and not to see them as a threat. And because if we do see them as a threat, then you're going to have like a negative, how should I say, a negative emotional response towards them. And your outreach might fail if you're trying to actually get someone to get vaccinated. You know what I mean?
Very,
So I think,
very good point. Yes, yes. I see your like what you are getting at. Yeah, great.
but the idea of allyship is amazing because that's even studies in terms of studies on persuasion. They say people closest to you are the most effective at changing your opinion and getting you to do things that you otherwise are opposed to. So that's perfect. I think maybe we could have like a session on the science behind breakthrough cases. How fast can someone unvaccinated or someone vaccinated can spread the virus, because vaccinated people can also carry the virus. So, and especially if a vaccinated person stops wearing their masks, that's also, I think, the highest threat of all. So I think these are items that need to be discussed, especially by people like us who carry this, do this work.
Thank you so much. That's such an amazing comment. I think, yeah, you made a very great distinction in terms of who's most likely to be exposed, or who's more at risk. You know, because we are the ones who's vaccinated, so we are kind of protected. Although breakthrough infections, as I shared, are also possible. As a matter of fact, the more people get fully vaccinated, and the more opportunities the data will show that there will still be, you know, even if you are fully vaccinated, they are still going to be infected. But what you said is very correct, and I appreciate that you want to have some kind of a further discussions on this topic in terms of, you know, especially the science, how that plays into all these kind of things. I really appreciate that. I thank you for pointing that out.
Yes, thank you so much for that. In the chat, there's actually some comments that relate. So someone said vaccinated does not mean that one should walk around without a mask. And another comment, one of the ambassadors mentioned earlier to me that during an outreach event, she was told that the ambassadors are actually the threat to other people because they are vaccinated. Those individuals feel ambassadors could be harmful to the environment because they're vaccinated. So definitely a very challenging situation, how to respond, like that can be really challenging. Yeah, and again, that all ambassadors should wear masks for their own safety. So really good ideas for future discussions and topics. Thank you again to our incredible presenters and guides for our conversation today. Razia and Charles, thank you so much for sharing what you did and for helping to keep this amazing conversation going. Thank you to all of you for sharing your stories and your learnings and your tips with everyone. I also want to thank our ASL interpreters today, who are Gloria, Anna, and is it Marcella? I hope I pronounced that correctly. Thank you for being here with us today. Thank you again to all of you, and we hope to see you at the last two sessions of the year. We will send out a link to those flyers and registrations and the recording for today's session, hopefully later today, but if not, then tomorrow. So congratulations again to the winner of the pop quiz, Amira, was it? And we will be choosing another winner for another gift card and sending that out to you after the session as well. So thank you again. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, and hope to see you very soon next week at the next session. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you. Stay safe, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
All of you are safe. And care for you. More winter is coming, so more preparation is needed.
So true. Thank you. How are you feeling, Razia, Charles? Oh, and
Feeling good. Feeling good.
Feeling good. It was a good interactive session.
Yes.
So true.
Very good. The ambassador peer-to-peer support is always very interactive. Razia, you did an amazing job today. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Should we say bye to Anna and Gloria and Marcella? And then
The interpreters are going to log off now.
Okay, thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Marcella, you're doing a great job too.
Thank you, Charles and everyone.
Yeah. Bye-bye, Gloria.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Anna.
Thank you, Razia. Thank you, Shahani.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, next time I can see you again.
Sounds good. Yeah, it was really engaging today. You both did such an amazing job. People were so engaged and feeling so free to share ideas, and so much positive feedback in the chat for you.
Yeah, I'm looking at time, 1:53, and people were still engaged in the conversation.
That's the sign of an amazing session. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, and the breakup room is great with less people, actually very enjoyable, because
Did that
everybody got
work?
the opportunity. Yeah, it will work better, I think, than last time, because last time lots of people didn't have opportunities to chat.
That's true. Yeah, because when I set it up, that's why it took longer. I had originally tried to put 10 per room, and I thought maybe I should make it smaller and see. So
Okay.
it took a little longer, and I wanted to ask. So I'm glad that was
Yeah,
done.
it works out very well. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the two of you all could moderate and run these sessions on your own. You're also very good moderators, the both of you. Like when you're engaging people and answering questions and keeping the flow in the chat and talking to people and encouraging them, you're also a really good moderator.
Oh,
Thank
thank you
you.
so much.
No problem. Wow. Well, I
Okay.
hope you're feeling good about it, and
Yeah.
have a wonderful
Let's take
rest.
the opportunity, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure, for sure.
Mm-hmm. You should stop the recording, because it will
Oh, that's
be
right.
posted live on the.
It's more work for me because I'm gonna have to edit this now. Great.
Okay. Okay. All
Nothing
right.
bad was said. It was all good stuff.